You'll see people that have turned their $50,000 life savings into zero in a month because they just buy options and they don't know what they're doing and they bag hold and they buy. So there's people in here that will buy a Thursday expiring call on Robinhood, right? Because I just said, hey man, Robinhood could possibly break out to 12 again today because if the market stays supportive. So they're like, oh shit, man, they're pretty cheap right now. Let me buy $5,000 worth of it. Then the market slides because somebody tweets something out, Russia does something, or the market just is shit. People are moving out of spec stocks because of inflation, right? Then Hood drops all the way down to 1160. Now they're down 40% on their $12 calls that expire at the end of the week. So what do? They take another 5,000 and to average down saying, well, shit, all it has to do is get back to where I bought originally and I'll make 50%. But they don't realize that even if it does stay flat, they're going to start losing significant value because it's not moving up anymore. And then they don't know any better. They're like, well, fuck, I'll just hold it overnight and then I'll make a lot of money tomorrow. But then 50% of the value that they've already down 35% on is gone from theta burn tomorrow. And then on top of the fact is that the chances of it getting into the money with it one less day is even more. So now they're down 75%. And now instead of even cutting that, the sunk cost fallacy goes in. They say, well, fuck it. Now I'll just buy at the bottom here. And all I need is one move today and I'll make a whole bunch of money. Then it goes down more and then they're broke. I've seen it a million times. You want to know why I was so specific with it? Because I've been there in the beginning. Okay, I understand how that shit works. Do you think I like selling shit for a loss? No, but I do. Sure, it might moon, but it also might keep falling. And I don't feel like losing money. Stocky, what if you sell for 5% loss and then it moons 100%? Well, there's 1,000% runner out there somewhere in the market today too. I don't need to worry about what might be, what could be. And I still do this shit for content all the time. I do it with shares sometimes. I did it in the 10K portfolio with JWell, remember? Held that shit to 50% down like an idiot. I mean, I've seen people that are down, 50% on same day expiring. And instead of just cutting their loss, keep doubling down. Or if they don't have any more money, fuck it. I'm holding this till I either break even or go to zero. And it always goes to zero. I'm not trying to attack anybody. It's just sometimes people need tough love. And if you need me to tell you you're an idiot, I will tell you you're an idiot. Okay? What do you mean, thanks? I just went all in on weekly Hood calls. That's exactly what I was... how do you know when to cut your loss versus double down, though, speaking of investing? Depends on how much capital I put in, number one. And number two, it depends on the length of time. For example, when I play... One of my most successful strategies that I've been trading recently has been after hours earnings. And if it's a stock that has, over 100 million, generally over 400 million, but over 100 million market cap, I scan them. I keep them all open. And if I see something drop 15 to 20% off of the initial numbers coming out, oftentimes that's an overreaction. So what I do is I take the amount of money I'm willing to play with, I cut it in half, and I buy the first major dip. If it drops 15 or 20% and I throw $2,000 at it and it gaps up 10%, hey, I made $200, I sell. If it falls even more, I still have half my capital that I'm willing to play with. So now I buy down, and the chances of an initial earnings reaction at a company that big being down 25 to 30% before the actual earnings call comes out and buy the dippers show up is very small. So now I've averaged down my position. And then if there's a bounce, I make more money. But if it continues to fall, I have less capital on the line. Plus, it's after hours. I'm watching the volume and stuff like that. So it's about risk management, because the thing that separates you guys from being more successful. I'm not going to say successful because this is a very fucking tough thing and most people fail at it. But the thing that separates most of you guys from more successful than you are is risk management. It's always focusing on what if I'm right, or what if this does this, and you focus on that upside. Well, all I got to do is average down and one more move like it had, or like, for example, I'll give you an example. You want to see something that's about to happen? I fucked up, but even though I fucked up, I still have to stick with it. I bought DoorDash today. DoorDash popped. This was one that we talked about this morning with the Dash Pass and how big it could be for the potential for them to shore up something in the market, right? It popped. It came all the way back down, and I bought. I meant to buy next week, but I didn't. I accidentally, when I hit the thing, I didn't hit. I thought it was auto-populating next week, but it's populating 2 days from now, okay? That's not good. So I bought some here, and I bought some here. I am currently down 22% on these. But let me tell you something. The volume in IV is holding this up, and as long as it stays above 106, I'm going to hold this to see what happens. But two things. If it breaks below 106, or it hasn't got above 108 by 2 p.m., I'm selling for a loss. Why? Two reasons. I bought the 111 calls. 111 calls are holding value right now because it was already over 111 at one point today. The belief that it could be over 111 within the next 2 days is still there. So I'm holding value. But more importantly, under 106 breaks below where I'm comfortable with it. And even if it falls to 105 and then recovers back up, it's moving so far away from the money that the chances of it getting in the money in the next 2 days significantly go away because I'm so far out of the money. So instead of, let's say you really believe that this was going to go back up, you don't average down on those. You sell those for a loss and then you buy something that's now cheaper, closer to the money, because it's going to hold more value throughout the day because the chances of it going up are there. This idea that, oh, it's so cheap, I'll just double down and throw more at it is only going to make you lose more money because it needs even more of a move to get even relatively close to where it's a valuable contract. And why till 2 p.m.? Because it expires in 2 days. And the longer it flatlines, the less convincing it's going to be that it is going to get in the money in that time frame. And after 2 p.m., the value is going to start dropping exponentially. I always play trader psychology. That's what I play. I mean, obviously, TA helps me with entry and exit, and fundamentals help me with understanding a company long term. But for trades, I play trader psychology, and the news is very impactful of that. So think about this for a second. And it doesn't take a genius. So I know a lot of you guys are probably like, Stocky, we know, but I'll tell you anyways. I want you to think about this. DoorDash, right? We've seen the plateau effect, something we talked about COVID, right? COVID, everything that was at home related exploded during COVID, right? We talked about food delivery, all that stuff. Well, now that people are leaving, food delivery has kind of cooled off and there's a lot more competition. There's some purchasing going on. You've got a lot of acquisitions. You've got a lot of purchases. You got Uber Eats buying Postmates, and you've got Just Eat buying Grubhub. You got a lot of these things, right? But here's the thing. In a sea of competition, how do you separate yourself? Okay, how do you separate yourself? In some cases, it's UI, right? Like I use Uber Eats and Postmates a lot because of the UI. There's other things that come in play, and that's savings, right? And money, right? So if you can get from the same restaurant, but 2 different apps, who's going to give you the most money back or who's going to save you the most money? That's how competition drives prices lower. Well, one thing, and if you guys aren't doing this, it's something that I definitely recommend is that if you do order a lot, shell out that $10 a month for the unlimited pass because you'll save so much goddamn money for whichever you're doing. It's a scam for people who don't order that often, but if you order like more than twice a week, it's absolutely worth it. Now, think about it this way. Amazon Prime was smart. They decided, hey, if you're a student, you know, we're going to get you to buy stuff and order stuff to your house by giving you a cheaper Amazon Prime. Now, DoorDash announced this morning that they are going to do a Dash Pass for students. Now, hear me out. Students are always broke. A lot of times students are broke. A lot of times the reason is because they have money. They just spend it on dumb shit, right? But if they feel and they believe to themselves they're saving money, okay, then they feel justified. Now, think about this. 70% of college students, okay, who eat out, not in a cafeteria, order food, delivery. Now, what is going to make, they've got all these different options. You've got Grubhub, you've got DoorDash, you've got Just Eats, you've got Uber Eats, you've got Postmates. What is going to cause you to use one over the other? Saving money. How do you save money? You get a pass. But Dash has decided they're going to do the college pass of $4.99 instead of $9.99. Now, you might say to yourself, Stocky, that's only $5 a month. That's not going to change anybody from going from one to the other. That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. When you're fucking broke, as somebody who's been broke, the idea of $5 a month savings will cause me to switch because I know I'm going to save so much more having that premium pass. So I've got to get a premium pass from one of these guys, but which one am I going to get it from? The one who gives it to me for $5 less a month. Trivially, it's no difference, but psychologically, that's huge. And that's why this morning I told you guys this could be a reason for this to move because this is how they're going to consolidate some of that market share. Sorry, did I black out? You don't tell me about saving money. You gave me shit about not ordering $3 worth of fries from Chick-fil-A because we have fries at home. You are so cheap that instead of allowing me to go to the store and buy some sponges or ordering them online, she said no. I said, what do you mean? She's asked her parents who are flying from fucking India today to America to load up on dish sponges because they're $1 per sponge cheaper in India than they are in America. Okay, but you're still asking your parents to take space in their fucking luggage to fly halfway around the world to bring us sponges that we could buy at the store. Why don't you tell them to take that space and put fucking gold in it or something? Your heart does not allow you to go to the store down the road and buy it. No, let's use the same broken sponge for 2 months because we don't want to buy one because your parents are coming from India and they're going to bring them and save $10.